Gentlemen, if this part doesn't excite you, you're numb or dead. The bulk of this video is going to talk about what you now have for the smartphone screen. And I think you should be pretty stoked about it, pretty excited. So, again, it's our same workflow. Request, assign and dispatch, and then review sent messages. Now we've incorporated the driver action and a recap. Recap isn't done yet, but that's okay. Let me just show you what we have. So the requests can be entered up here, or you can forward down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of use the fictional requests that I've been making because it's hard for me to come up with them on the fly. This is Brian Mickley calling for Beaver Excavating. We need to order 4 quad-axle trucks this Thursday. Arrival time 7:30 a.m. at the East Canton Foltz Community Center. You'll be supporting the new high school baseball field project. Trucks are to show on-site empty, and they'll be moving dirt all day for the new baseball complex project. And they will do some cycling between Stark C&D landfill and the new baseball complex. Please note, avoid side streets and do not track dirt and mud onto city streets. Have a solution to ensure that does not happen. This will be hourly pay. The broker is Yoder Trucking, and make sure that you identify the Foltz Community Center or... Okay, that was a pretty crappy dictation, but it'll show you what can happen here, and it's not going to be perfect. It never is, but it identified the caller, the contractor, the truck type, date and time. Pickup site wasn't specified. Material they're hauling is dirt. It captured notes and the pay type. So it basically says what it caught: East Canton Infrastructure, Beaver Excavating. It did not get site location, but that's okay. So material type, be hauling dirt. Pickup site is on site. Bill materials, other, nothing specified. Hourly pay rate. And then we have the words here. Now, I want to show you something. This, I think, should excite you. You can take this, let's just say it was a better filled out form than it is right now, and select clone as template. And so this would be East Canton baseball project. Okay, so that's now a template. If I'm going to go ahead and clear the form, if you had something like this going on for a long time, say a big lengthy support for asphalt on a highway for milling and grinding, you would be doing many of those every day for a long period of time. Here's where this begins to shine. Click the 3 dots, load template. So I just did the East Canton baseball project, and notice that it repopulated everything for you to then take and duplicate, modify what you need, and then hit send truck request. That's one feature. Now let me clear this again. We also have the last 10 requests. So the last, and we can change this if you think that that should be a bigger number. So you can cycle through the last 10 jobs that were created, and you can grab them and fill it in. There wasn't a lot here other than Milla and Axel. Let's see the note. So that's another feature. I'm going to clear the form again. Then, if you had the same caller calling for 3 different jobs, 3 different locations, 3 different requests, you could use that information. But frequent notes, Bertolini Trucking, we're going to enter that into our notes in the bottom. Let me just expand this for you. So contractors Bertolini must use this, circle multi-axle on ticket, get ticket signed. And, I like to have the spaces in between for viewability, readability. Ryan, if you don't like that, we can tighten them up. It's up to you. Clear form again. Put in a different frequent note. Let's just say the R. Yoder trucking ticket, blah, blah, blah. Then dump sites. We're going to have maple leaf demolition. We want to put that in the notes. So that's, I think, some pretty convenient features if you remember to use it and learn how to use it, that I believe there's a lot of value for expediting the creation of good and sound and full and complete dispatch tickets. Okay, let's then go to, I'm going to clear this. Clear form. I'm going to go to assignment 1. What do we have on Monday? There we have all kinds of them. So now we're looking at this 0165 job. It needs a driver. I'm going to click that. Going to try to find a driver to put against it. And let's just choose Carlos here. So now Carlos from All Around Property is assigned to this job. We can review the SMS that the previous step completed, edit it as required, and then hit send SMS. So this will dispatch that SMS directly to the driver. So that ticket was dispatched, in other words, sent out on the SMS to me, my testing. And it's the R. Yoder Trucking Dispatch. The driver is, as we said, the Carlos with All Around Property, supporting the notes down here. Those were all things that we put in. So it works well. It works well. And then the next step in the process is that the user, the driver, after he's seen, read, and I don't know whether Ryan wants it or not, acknowledged, but then he clicks this link. The Assign One page is more or less designed for single dispatches, not groups of dispatch. There are some notes that I've added, and you should key in on these. If you see that I, that circled I anywhere, it will tell you what are features that aren't entirely obvious to the user. So, long press any job for more options, or to move to another date, or cancel, or unassign. So I'm going to long press, and then you'll see down here, move to another date, unassigned driver. Let's just do the move to another date option. And it's going to take us from today. Let's move it to the 21st. We should be able to find that. Reason, user, request, my initials, and hit move job. So 0165 moving to the 21st. So we should be able to find that. Then it pops up this informed driver question mark. If we want to let Carlos know that his job was reassigned, there are these templates that will populate it, and we're just going to pop this here. And so it says, "Hi Carlos, your job RYT0165 has been moved from the 16th to the 21st. Reason, user request, reply OK to confirm." And then it's always going to tell us who made that entry and sent that message. I'm going to hit send SMS, and that too should come to me. And here it is down here at the bottom of my screen as the latest, most recent sent. "Hey Carlos, blah blah, has been moved, blah blah," and my initials. So that gets us to the next assignment page. Well, let's see here. There's another I here. "After moving or canceling, you'll be prompted to notify the driver via SMS," and that's what we just did. So those are two nice features also that I think should interest you and hopefully make you feel more comfortable that this is going to be a very serviceable tool on the smartphone screen. So I'm going to come here to the let's go to Louisville Sports Complex. So notice up here it says we have 1 out of 3 are assigned. We're going to assign the other 2. So I'm going to click this and just find someone, I don't care who. And we have 1 more to assign. Pull someone out of Tier 1, Bruce from Milhone. So now we have all 3 up here. They show assigned. They're in draft. We can add a note to all messages after we generate the dispatch note from the template. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Now they all have the same dispatch message. If I wanted to say, "Don't come through city until after 7:30, and no Jake breaks." So now we're going to add that to our tickets. So this should have the verbiage down there on the bottom. "Don't come through city until after 7:30, no Jake breaks." That should also be on these other 2 tickets. And it is. And just to prove it, we'll spend your time looking at the last one. Okay, there we go. So now if we reviewed them all, and we can hit send, and they're all 3. If we wanted to edit, we could have, but now they're all 3 sent. So I'm not going to pull it up. You guys get the idea. And then the next is to come and look at our sent folders. So the Louisville Sports Complex has 4 sent tickets. We can look at it to see what exactly did I tell him again. What exactly is he asking me about? Oh, there I see. I can clarify it to him. I can resend it. I can copy and paste it. I can see where my mistake was. So this is very handy in that respect. Now notice there's a exclamation point there in red. That means that one of these had something notifying, and this job has been moved from this date to this date. So that is letting you know that this job stands out for some reason or another. It's highlighting it. From here, we can clone a job. Let's just say we're going to take this one. We're going to clone that job, and we want to do the same thing Tuesday morning, and we're going to make it 08 a.m. and hit clone job. Notice it's going to take this and do something with it. So there, it's 0168 on the 17th. So I could go dig for that, although I'm not going to. You guys have seen enough of those. So now we have our recap Our end of day, here's what should have happened. And let's see, we have the 17th. I just created some of those. So these are the tickets or the trucks that were assigned that day. And what I plan to do is bring in a feedback or a summation of the driver's end of day ticket. And that would go in here so that you can see that of the two, both of them over here would be completed. Let's say here we had eventually 6 of 6 were dispatched, and over here 5 of 6 reported back. So the question is, did the one not report back because he failed to report, or did he not report back because he was incomplete, didn't show, or whatever? That's to give Ryan the opportunity to see what became of his day that he had assigned for Tuesday. Come back here. So the driver job cards, I'm going to just open one of them randomly. So if I am looking to see what happened with that job, I then, or this is what, let me rephrase that. This is what the driver is going to see. He's going to see the date, the start time, project location, and contractor supporting. He's going to receive a link to the map of where he's going if we use that feature. Pay type trucks, Yoder trucking, and then down here he is going to be able to dictate most of the features. Some of them are kind of weak, but it's easier than typing all of them. Start time 6 a.m., end time 7:15 p.m., truck number 147, job number 3233. Trip number 1 material was gravel, 14.7 tons. Weight ticket was 11431. Invoice number 0747.1. Site supervisor is Henry Winkler. Notes: everything went well, but a ready-mix concrete truck was blocking the entrance for 2 hours. Up here, we'll hit tap to stop. And I don't think it caught that. Everything went well, but that should have come down here. I'm going to just hit. You would be able to do this with your phone. Now we have a signature thing here. I don't know if Ryan can use that or not. I can't do it with my mouse, that's for sure. And it may satisfy every store out there in the world, but probably not Bertolini. And I would argue, nor should it, because as one of my friends says, he puts either an X or he just kind of does this. Now, I don't want to tell you which of my friends does that, but he's a viewer of this video. So they submit the ticket, and that is going to generate a couple of different things. There's the job completion report. We can be sending it to Beaver. We can send it to the driver for his records. We will keep it in the database for Ryan, and we will enter it eventually when we get all this refined well enough into his QuickBooks as a ready to dispatch invoice. All right, I hope that answers a lot of questions. I hope that, number one, you can see that the application is getting closer and closer to ready for the primary workflow of 5 steps. Number two, I hope you can see that it is taking shape to be usable on the smartphone screen. Number three, I hope you can see that we need to begin getting your brain dumped into the database so that the more we have pre-filled, the less work you will have creating the tickets, creating the dispatches. All right, I definitely would like feedback. I think we should schedule a telephone call or a Zoom meeting or some type of share screen tomorrow, and perhaps opportunity after that to apply the feedback, and then everyone get together, I would say at my office, to run it through its paces together and make combined joint input, discussion, critique, requests, etc.